I'm Larry Anglisano at Aviation Consumer magazine here at AirVenture 2018 at Oshkosh. BendixKing is at the show with the AeroVue flight deck, retrofittable for the Beech King Air. Tell us about it. Here's BendixKing's Dan Johnson.
What I like about this system is simple sophistication. And when I say simple sophistication, things like smart view, synthetic vision, that is track-based with an acceleration chevron, interactive graphical flight planning with iNav. We have a CCD device that is very simple to use and reduces workload and fatigue. And a 3-axis digital autopilot. It's very smooth, great system. It's a wonderful system for any B200 that you have, or even special mission B200 aircraft. The engine instruments are in the pilot's primary field of view. It's duplicated here and here, and as most King Air pilots know, maintaining the parameters of the engines are a very important thing, and it makes it easy when it's right in your primary field of view. The aircraft has a lot of safety systems. It came down from the Part 25 airplanes, and it has all that redundancy built into the system. The system has the capability of displaying traffic. You have traffic here on your HSI, and then traffic on your multi-function display, and also it's displayed here. You can also overlay your weather radar here from onboard radar, and I like that for tactical decision making. And then you can have your XM weather on your MFD, and I use that for strategic decision making. Another benefit about the system is when you're replacing your older federated avionics package that was in your B200, you get a weight savings between 125 to 150 pounds depending on what you have. The older King Airs had the AC inverters. The AC inverters come out. There's a huge weight savings there. And also from an operational standpoint, now you're not maintaining some of that older equipment.
Now, Dan, this AeroVue system is a derivative of the Apex using the Pilatus PC-12NG. How does it differ here in the King Air?
Climbing out at 9,500 for 10,000 just outside of Oshkosh. The differences between the Apex system and the King Air AeroVue system, the lineage is still the same. They're both derivatives of the Part 25 Primus Epic systems, and so it has all that safety built into it. The biggest difference between this system and the Apex system and the Pilatus is that we have only 3 screens instead of 4 screens, but it's integrated into the cockpit of the King Air very nicely.
And we also have a new flight control autopilot system specific to the AeroVue.
That's right. So we have a 3-axis digital autopilot with a yaw damper, and the beauty about it being a 3-axis digital autopilot is that all the servos are monitored.
954 Charlie Victor.
So let's talk a little bit about system redundancy. We've got 3 screens. What do we got for redundant sensors to feed those screens?
All right. Well, the AeroVue system got its lineage from Primus Epic, and so a lot of the safety system analysis of those Part 25 aircraft has gone into the Part 23 AeroVue system, which adds to safety of the system as a whole. There's lots of redundant systems and reversionary opportunities. The 88 HARS is a single box with 2 channels. It runs PFD1 and PFD2 on separate channels. If you have a failure of 88 HARS 2, you can sub in 88 HARS 1 and vice versa. The other redundant systems is you have 2 advanced graphic modules that basically put the information on the PFDs, and those are you can revert those in for each other also. We also have PFD controller reversionary capability. If this panel fails, I can use the opposite panel to manipulate the other system.
Now, our viewers have probably noticed by now the system isn't touchscreen, but it uses a CCD, cursor control device. Why not touchscreen, and what are the advantages of a CCD as far as you can tell?
So Larry, the big advantages of the CCD, in my opinion, and I think a lot of pilots, is there's a nice hand stabilization point. Nowadays with the touch screen, there's a lot of issues with trying to stabilize your hand, especially in turbulence. There's no problem in the King Air AeroVue system for hand stabilization, and the CCD is something that has come out of the Part 25 aircraft down to the King Air. You don't see this device too much in this category of aircraft. It's a very useful device. I can do almost all the system manipulation right here on the CCD, and that reduces pilot fatigue and workload. So we're in the climb out of Stevens Point, head back to Oshkosh IFR. How do we transition back into en route? I'll say that's a very good question. It's a very easy system to manipulate. So what I'm going to do is just graphically select Oshkosh, change destination, and I have just put in a new flight plan. That's how easy it is. Now I'm going to go to heading just for a second. And I'm going to go direct to Ripon. Mend route, and then this is the only time I'm going to have to actually look down at my multi-function controller and then put in Ripon.
So we're inbound 12 miles out, descending 33,500.
Enter.
Hi, who was canceling IFR?
Sears 241 Gulf Sierra.
All right, 1 Gulf Sierra, roger. Have your cancellation. You can squawk 1200. Have a good day.
Activate.
Okay, Skarkin 1200, 1 Gulf Sierra.
And then direct to activate. So now we're climbing 160, direct Ripon. Okay, so we're descending out of 9,000 for 5,000. Notice that the acceleration chevron has gone above the flight path marker. That tells you the dynamic energy of your aircraft, and it's gaining. We have an excess amount of energy, so we're going to speed up. Now if I take my power levers here, I can pull it straight back, and notice that acceleration chevron moves below the flight path marker. So that very precisely tells the pilot his current dynamic energy of the airplane, and that allows him to precisely maneuver his aircraft. Other interesting things about the PFD here is notice that you have a V and a T here. T is the track, and V is the heading of the aircraft. So the heading is off to the left, and we're tracking, of course, centered. We're always going to be center track, and the important thing about that is our SVS and our TAWS is all based on track. And the important thing is that you're actually seeing where you're going physically in the airplane, and not where the heading of the airplane is, and that adds to safety.
Now, with typical flyaway prices that might be around $400,000, the AeroVue faces stiff competition in the King Air 200 retrofit market. Garmin has populated its G1000 and over 500 King Airs to date. There's also the Collins ProLine Fusion, and as we go to production, Sandell Avionics has announced it will be ready with its Avalon modular flight deck for the King Air in early 2019. It's guaranteeing a flyaway price of $175,000. As for the BendixKing AeroVue, we think it's a well-executed and weight-saving flight deck that could have more momentum if it had a broader STC base. That's something BendixKing says it's working on, while also adding to its network of 8 installation centers. Now, with the right support, the system could be a good fit for aging BendixKing equipped turboprops, including first-gen Pilatus PC-12s, TBMs, and even old Piper Cheyennes, to name a couple. And you can read a full report on the AeroVue system in an upcoming issue of Aviation Consumer magazine. Reporting for Aviation Consumer, I'm Larry Anglisano, and thanks to Dan Johnson for the good demo.
Thanks, Larry.